Thank you for joining me. It's Karma Lately. Actually, I love my craft paper mat. However, because it's rough and completely matte, you can see right through the wax paper. You can see all the areas of paint. Those areas are not going to come off. Now, I personally don't care, but for testing out paints and painting techniques, I do need a non-stick surface. And so what I'm using as of right now is I'll roll out some vinyl, but I like the ease of use of this non-stick wax paper, and I just laid it out, taped it with some masking tape, and now I have myself a nice little workstation. And if I ever need to write something down on this craft, I can use this, so the table is not completely covered in one type of surface. What we're going to be talking about today are some of the cool techniques that some cool book art techniques. And I found this old Webster's dictionary. I've already taken out quite a few pages, but I found this old Webster's dictionary, and I was inspired to do so because I ran out of newspaper, and I wanted to make sure that I wasn't bringing in more things that I didn't need. Instead, I could get rid of or upcycle, recycle, reuse some of the things that I already have. So if I'm using books that I already own, book pages that I already own, if I'm using them in gifts or for sales of books or different art pieces, then technically I'm reducing waste, because although I'm getting rid of it from my home, someone else has room for it in their home, so it's not being thrown away. I've already gone ahead and cut out some of these, and it's pretty simple. I like to not have any obstruction when I'm cutting it out, so if you have like any little pieces of paper, just pull them back, because sometimes it'll create a tear when you're taking out the paper. But I take them out in bunches, and I just carefully pull them out, and it's nice and clean. Typically, I cut the edges out. You can use one of these guys. This one is just like a handy dandy one, definitely not a strong one, but it does the job just fine. And the reason I cut the edges off is because unless I want empty space in my project, I don't. It's just that simple. Then I don't want empty space. And there you have it. Now, I'm sure you guys have seen these punches all over for many years now. Punches have been the thing. They're creating new kinds, new sizes, and so it's a lot of fun. Now, when you take a single sheet of paper, this is very thin paper. I love this paper. It's very thin, very delicate. You take a single sheet like this and you put it in this puncher. It could get stuck. 9 times out of 10, it does get stuck, and you kind of have to finagle it, press this a couple of times to get it out. What I like to do, because this paper is so thin, I like to get it in there in small batches, so that it's a lot more sturdy. And so the puncher's confused. The puncher thinks it's cardstock, and it is not. Notice how the first one, I did it this way, this way, and then the second one I did it this way. This is so that we can create different, actually I'll leave that like that. This is so that we can create different patterns with the words. I'm fascinated by encyclopedias and dictionaries, and I love the way that they're made. It just automatically looks vintage. So now you have these different flowers, and I'm going to tell you all the things that we can do with that. You can also take a smaller punch just for effect and for interest. And now you have these tiny ones here. So, and I already have a whole batch of these. So I'm going to show you what we can do with these. But I want to show you first what we're going to do with these. Oh, this is my box of yumminess. I just have like everything that I sew and little tags that I like to sew on my machine, and then I just keep them in here so that way when I have projects I can just pick out of the batch and not have to worry. But this is what I'm looking for right now. And I'll take some of these. So as you can see, I have two different kinds of paper. I have scrapbook paper and I have book page. And so what I did was I used the book page behind, and now I created a new kind of tag. You can also, why is my brayer stuck to this? You can also, this thing is already rusty, but oh God, it's rusty. Where's the new one? I don't know where the new one is. But you can stick some twine in here. Now you have a tag. But we're going to get into that later. Right now, I want to show you how I made these cute little flowers. So usually I'll distress them. And there's different ways to distress. You can take your ink pad and just distress. Now, you don't want to be as messy as I'm being. I'm just trying to go quickly. Or maybe you do want to be as messy as I'm being. You can also take, this is like brown, like a yellowish brown paint, acrylic paint with water. You can distress like that, wait for it to dry and work with it. You can also just use some watercolors. Get a little bit of water. And distress. Now you can also there's like so many different things you can do. You can also, and it curls up, but you kind of want that. So that's why I like using water with them, because you kind of want the petals to curl up, and I like when they curl in their own way, in their own direction, and then I figure out how I want to use them, you know? You can also color these. And you can kind of do whatever you want, you know? So in this case, I just distressed it with a little bit of ink. And so, I'm sorry if it's a little messy right now. I distressed with a little bit of ink. Now we're gonna get to the fun part. The first thing you're gonna do, so we're trying to make these flowers. I'm gonna get ones that are already distressed. And I recycle my wipes because I'm only using them with paint, and there's really no reason why I shouldn't be able to use them again, at least dry. So these are already a little distressed. I'm gonna get 3 flowers, and this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut to the middle on the first flower, leaving this gap like that. Then I'm going to cut to the middle here, and then cut to the middle here. Now you can do this with guidelines, and you can draw them. You can draw all the lines. What you would do, get a ruler, and you kind of get the lines and just draw all the lines connecting all the petals, and then you'll be able to make perfect. For the sake of this video and for the sake of using these tiny flowers, I'm just gonna do it like this. So actually I took out 2. I was supposed to just take out 1. So to the middle, and then the middle again. And so first, just a quick slice in the middle, then cut out 1 petal, then cut out 2 petals. Then what we're gonna do, okay. Now you can use different things for this. You can use Mod Podge. You can use your score tape. You can use tacky glue. But for the sake of this video and for keeping things fast, I'm going to use my glue stick, which I know it's all beat up, but she really is handy dandy, super clutch. So the first one, we're going to fold up and then fold in, like so. So you're just going to take a little bit of your hot glue. Don't put it at the tip of the petal because it's so hard and we still have some more steps we have to do. We need that petal, the tip of the petal, to be nice and flexible. Let me see if I can get this closer. So that's one. The next one, notice how I stay away from the tip of the petal and kind of just join them. You're going to keep doing this on all pieces. even the tiny ones. It's not going to always be perfect, like this one. But as perfect as flowers are, they have their imperfections as well. So I'm okay with it. When you're working with these smaller ones, you just got to be careful and try to work fast, but you're going to get a little bit burned. You start to get used to it. You know, the burning sensation. Okay.